Welcome everyone. Wamukelekele, bienvenue, Cabo, Huan Ying and Welina to Womanosity for Women with Curiosity on Woman Radio, broadcasting 24/7. I'm your host, your anchor, Tadia Rice, greeting you in Zulu, French, Yoruba, Chinese, and Hawaiian. And I'm here every Saturday to share wisdom, wit, and the brilliance of women whose curiosity has led them to learn, love, and flourish in our very competitive and demanding world. It's Black History Month in America, and my guest is so special because she helped make Black history. She is Tureeda Mikell, one of the original Black Panther Party members whose Oakland, California movement in the 1960s changed America forever. We're going to talk about what took her to the Panther movement, what she did there, where she went after that, and how she became an award-winning poet and performance artist, a story medicine woman, key energy reader, poet, educator, and author with 73 at-risk student anthologies published. As a health professional, Tureeda is hailed as an activist for holism, medicine treating the whole person, taking into account the mental, social, and dietary factors rather than just symptoms of an illness. She's a prolific author, a visionary writer. Her works have been published and shared around the globe. And Tureeda will share with us how everything is interconnected. I want to welcome Tureeda to Womanosity for Women with Curiosity on Woman Radio. Come into the studio. It is so good to have you with me today, Tureeda. Welcome.
Thanks so much for inviting me here, Tadia. It is an honor to share time with women on your program. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Tureeda, you have achieved so much in your lifetime, both as a health professional, a creator, an author, an educator, and a collaborator on various causes. There's a lot to unpack with you, so let's go to the beginning. Where were you raised, and did your upbringing have anything to do with how you first stepped into this greater world?
Oh, that's such a broad spectrum of a question. I am first generation child of the Great Migration from the very troubled South. My parents and grandparents from Louisiana, Mississippi, those areas in the southern parts of the United States. They came up here, settled, purchased a home. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, caring for myself and two younger siblings. My father worked every day. He was a bootleg barber in the neighborhood on the weekends, which was hilarious because the stories, oh my God, that's another thing. My mother was ill and we didn't know that. She passed when I was 10 and my younger sisters were 3 and 5, which led me to question many things. It would be the first time I witnessed a spirit walk without a body. My mother came to me while she was crossing over at the hospital. She was still in her hospital room, but she came to my bedroom the early morning, just dressed immaculately and hair done, lipstick, her favorite lips. I mean, like she was just dressed, going somewhere special. And she was. I thought she was coming home, but she was not. That catapulted me into recognizing what we had already talked about, my mother and I, regarding spirits or reoccurring dreams and things like that. She showed that as evidence to me, kissed my forehead, and that was that. I didn't hear the confirmation that she had, quote unquote, gone to heaven, though I didn't want to pay any attention to that verb variable. She had gone to heaven, and oh, that's what happened. And so at 10, I come to the realization that spirits can walk without a body. From that point on, everything just opened.
And this is in Oakland, California. So that's very interesting because Oakland, the San Francisco Bay Area, is such a pivotal place in American history. And
Yes,
this is where, by the time you were a young adult, you joined the Black Panther Party, which,
yes.
for those who don't know, was a Black Power political organization founded by college students in October 1966, right there in Oakland, California. The
Mhm.
party was active in the US between 1966 and 1982. It had chapters across major American cities, and it had international chapters in the
Exactly.
UK and even in Algeria. It
And
was,
the Philippines, and
oh,
in Auckland, which is a sister city of Oakland.
that's
Yes,
interesting. So
yes,
this was the student challenge to racism and police abuse.
yes.
That was the foundation that initiated the Black Panther Party. A lot of people don't realize that it was racism and police abuse, and they advocated for class struggle. Many, many commonalities with the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa.
Oh, yes, we talked about that often,
Yes,
and we
yes.
recognized that.
Very
Um,
true. A lot of people don't understand that the Black Panther Party gave free breakfast for children. They had education programs and they established community health clinics. Unfortunately, the FBI would call the Black Panther Party the greatest threat to internal security of the country. And boy, did things blow up then. You experienced those days when the FBI sabotaged the party with surveillance, infiltration, perjury, police harassment, assassinations, and so much more, all designed to undermine and criminalize the movement. However, for African Americans and the political left, the Black Panther Party and its domestic liberation struggle was a powerful force against segregation and the US military draft during the Vietnam War, because it was the most influential Black Power organization there was at the time. So tell me more about your very amazing experience in the Black Panther Party.
I worked in the clinic and working with Doctors Talbert Small and Dr. Eddie Newsom and many other healthcare professionals in school. I still get emotional about what took place, what happened, and because I was a nurse and witnessed things in the hospital. I witnessed things there, people becoming addicted to drugs, or just a number of things. And then to go into the Black Panther clinic and be asked to join and become a part of dedicating time. It was a work that you felt had to be done, had to be done. And so it's what you did.
I was so impressed to learn that back then, way back then, the clinic was doing sickle cell screening, which really you didn't hear a lot about it until the late 70s or the mid 70s. And you were already testing for that. You know,
Yeah.
I do want to let the listeners know that there is a documentary called Agents of Change. If you can take a look for it on the internet, it is really, I strongly suggest you take a look at it. Agents of Change, about the Black Panther Party. It's quite amazing.
Agents of Change is not only about the Black Panther Party, but it's about San Francisco State changing the curriculums for Black studies or studies for people of color, so we could be included in the history. The police violence, again on campus, that struck a match across the country to get Black studies into the curriculums of schools and colleges and universities. We were fighting to get it in, got it in, and now things are changing again and they're trying to remove it. Yeah, that's what Agents of Change was about. It's a fascinating process that people were going through at that time.
Yes, that was the 60s in the United States for sure. Now, you were a featured poet at the Black Panther Party 55th anniversary, and you wrote a poem about those days called Life Light Remembered. Would you share that with us, please?
Yes, I will. Life Light Remembered. We are soldiers on the battlefield with life light in our eyes, said Sister Sonia. 1994, 23 years after volunteering at the George Jackson Free Health Clinic, the Tribune calls, asks, how many guns did you have at the Black Panther Clinic? How many guns? Not how many services were provided, not how many programs were implemented, not how many doctors or healthcare workers volunteered, not even why we care to put into practice such a program with so many hospitals in our community. No, didn't ask any of that. Wanted to know how many guns we had, not what illnesses or diseases most affected our communities, or how often we screened for diabetes or sickle cell, or checked for high blood pressure, if at all, or what may have been my specialty at the time. I would have told them of certain grains to regain genetic memory, but they were more interested in how many guns we had, not who ran the clinic or what hours or days of the week we were open, or who was our hero or shero to set about such a task that sustains our health needs today. No, the reporter didn't ask any of that. They wanted to know how many guns we had. Black men and women, late teens, 20-somethings, volunteered to become doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists, completed homework between seeing patients. Black volunteer staff physicians, Dr. Talbert Small and Eddie Newsom, developed methadone programs to destroy heroin dependence and reverse the curse of opioid addictions purposely placed in our neighborhoods to weaken the Black power base. We took vital signs, provided prenatal care, kept patient records, organized charts, med rooms, pharmacies, gave better care than Kaiser dared, held life light in our eyes, books our bullets, educationally armed our right to fight through walls that imprisoned us as violent, drug-infested, gun-carrying, sex-crazed jigaboos. Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael, warned, education in this country makes you stupid. But what is worse, it makes you arrogant in your stupidity. The revolution is coming whether you want it or not. It is coming whether you want it or not. We must be politically prepared for what is coming. The revolution will not be televised, not be televised, not be televised. The revolution will be live. How many guns did we have? We were soldiers on the battlefield with life light in our eyes. We are soldiers on the battlefield with life light in our eyes.
You just heard the most amazing poem read live by Tureeda Mikell, my brilliant guest. Her poem was Life Light Remembered from her book, Synchronicity, The Oracle of Sun Medicine. Wow, it was heavy and magnificent and really encapsulated what happened in the 1960s of America with the Black Panther Party, a remarkable organization that really got the short shrift in media, that's for sure. They were demonized, and yet they had done so much to help the community, especially in Oakland, California. We'll be right back with the amazing and brilliant Tureeda Mikell.
Not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live. Tell me what's the word? Johannesburg! So what's the word?
Welcome back, everyone. So let's continue with this amazing woman, Tureeda Mikell, who makes history. She was the 2022 Museum of the African Diaspora Poet in Residence Program recipient. And as an original Black Panther alumni, a story medicine woman, poet, author, and educator. Tureeda, you've published 73 at-risk student anthologies from 5 of the San Francisco Bay areas. Can you tell me more about those anthologies?
Yes, the anthologies took place because I was invited to be a poet teacher via a program called California Poets in the Schools. It was the first of its kind in the country to send professional poets like myself into the classroom to teach poetry. Schools became aware of our art form and all the teachers that just pulled amazing poetry out of the children because, of course, as poets, we remember what it was like to be a child and that form of innocence. So the most astounding thing that would happen is what teachers would say that was so common among Black, white, Asian, just all of them. You know, our children really need a voice. They really need a voice. So I would make these anthologies. Many schools didn't know that that was one of the things that made California Poets in the Schools stand out, was that our teachers, like myself, would make an anthology. We would publish an anthology. We would get the children to be involved in the writing process, articulate your environment. What are you feeling? And, you know, just raise that consciousness of self-worth, self-esteem, the figurative language that's involved in the pedagogy of the education system.
That's wonderful. I wish I would have been a kid that got that. That's so amazing what you can learn by learning how to write a poem. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it is not. And your book, Synchronicity, The Oracle of Sun Medicine, that was nominated for the California Book Award. Congratulations on that. And I want to hear more about where you've shared your works too. But I had to laugh when a person that read your book said that Tureeda is hell-bent on asserting life. What did they mean by that?
I'm a Qigong practitioner. The will to be involved with that energy and open up the self, to heal, to be aware of the internal. Toni Morrison speaks of that interior self, because many times we are told not to even pay attention to that.
You know, your work has traveled to the Americas, Africa, France, UK, Australia, Japan, China. Oh my goodness, we're going to talk about that. I'd like you, though, to share something that you wrote from Synchronicity, the Oracle of Sun Medicine, because it helps us explore your involvement with the healing arts, which I believe has unsuspecting powers that the world hasn't necessarily awakened to yet. You've experienced the arts for decades as a poet, instructor, as you said, the Qigong energy reader, a public speaker, a storyteller, a language arts instructor. Can you share an example of how the healing arts have an impact on children and adults, and what made you write Synchronicity, the Oracle of Sun Medicine?
What made me write Synchronicity is a culmination of documenting things that have occurred over the years for me, working as a nurse, because I was a nurse and was a lab tech in a psychiatric institution, witnessing many things, having to go to the locked ward to gather samples from the inpatients, read charts, understand what's going on with the psyche. That made me pull together a number of things that I had witnessed over the years. And I'm sure being an investigative news reporter was part of that impetus to bring me into that form of documentation, but in a creative way. Your idea of how you want to express became a part of what I began to use and teach and implement in my writing. So I don't really have a specific kind of style. My styles jump all over, and I think that's why the
No
book
man
is
is
a
an
little
island.
interesting.
Ladies,
It seems
let's
to
open up and
deal with
discuss
those
issues
who
whether good
have
or
many
bad.
different concerns.
Platforms
Everything
are there.
from
Woman Radio
religion
happens to be just
to
one of them.
the psychic
I'm inviting
experience
you
to
on the
interspecies
couch to
communication.
further discuss areas
Those
of
things
concern
really
every Thursday
impact
from 10 a.m.
what
South
I
African
write.
time to 12
Being close
noon
to the body, being
on the
close to
couch
nature,
with
being
me, Yvonne
close
Chaka Chaka,
to those things
here
that keep
on
us
Woman
alive,
Radio,
and
well-organized
thereby,
man,
yes,
for we are.
my hell-bent on life.
Let's take a listen to
I
two
am Dr.
of your
Sia. Please catch
remarkable
me every
writings.
Monday at
Poems
7
called
o'clock in
My
the
Son,
evening on
followed
Woman
by
Radio,
Sparrow's
where
Eye.
I will be
And
talking
then we'll
about
be right
breaking
back
free
with the
from
most amazing
trauma,
Tureeda
from
Mikell.
everything
Don't go
that
anywhere,
is
folks.
holding you back from becoming
son,
the best version of
I
yourself.
will speak for you.
Woman Radio,
Those scriptures mask your
well-organized
testimony
man,
from
for we
eyes
are.
that once knew your light. Watched you walk upon waters, oversee flora, fauna, mammal,
Neva.
animal, bird,
I'm
and
Steve
sea
Burgundy
creature. Obey
from China.
your season's will.
You're listening
my
to
son.
Woman Radio.
Your
for
garden
well-organized
legacy,
men.
deed you master,
I'm listening to
alchemist, chef.
Hi everyone,
cook,
this is Shireen Janti,
sorcerer of
Senior
elements.
Director of Music
You
here of the
feed
Recording Academy,
multitudes,
otherwise
flavoring
known as the Grammys.
nature's
I
seed
love this radio
womb,
station. I love
my
this
son.
talk. Woman
Why
Radio
falsify
helps
your
give women
records?
the voice they need.
Hide
and I
your
thank
light.
them for supporting
Cut
women. I'm
circuitry
listening to Woman
from
Radio,
innocent
and I hope
eyesight,
you are too.
masquerading one vowel well with idol sacrifice, my son. Unclean spells stray from holy wellness, creates hell for pathologic wealth, degenerates generations, my son. An icon reads, think not I come to bring peace on earth. I come not to bring peace, but a sword. Why destroy peace in your wheel done? You are reason life on earth. Humanity erodes truth, integrity destitute. Disputing life roots, they brainwash memory, branding you secondary, awaiting a messiah as though your soul, our lights, are not required, my son. Too many religious saviors, too many competitive death plans. Too many eyes look away from your radiance to revere a rote man, my son. I need not wait for your return. Your morning light never ceases for what I yearn. You are my testimony, my sojourn, my light, my son. You, not born of man or woman. You, true light of this world. You, my son, our holy reed, our spark of light that never sleeps in heart and lung. As we breathe, my son, eyes will always rise to acknowledge you. One sunny Sunday afternoon, ascending stairs, Jack London Square, onto courtyard partially barred, I sit at its pinnacle. By bathe this day of heat, my senses drink greedily. Vault of heaven, bright blue, swaddles family hues, women, men, children, babies, eyes laugh, talk, pleasing, folk walking easy, winds blowing breezy. I lift my head toward skies when suddenly sparrow graces my horizon, lands right in front of me, delivers another kind of peace. I feel silent, serene. When all at once its feathers flutter, my spine tingles, I shudder. Like mirrors, we look directly into one another, cock our heads to the same side. A moment of unity confides. We share and stare. Then sparrow flies and flies with a piece of my light and sparrows in me. 3 days later, Near my lapse in, another sparrow descends, so quick, so near, without fear. It was as if sparrow demanded I stop. So I did, as it hopped from my right to my left and looked up at me. Must be a kindred spirit, I think. Amazed, I looked down at this little miracle on the ground and sense a heaviness, release. I feel lighter, a bit more free. Then sparrow flies and flies with a piece of my light, and sparrows in me. Now the next day, baby, the next day, more happens than I wish to say, but sparrow's theme continued to play. Thursday night, open mic at Inner City's blues joint, I sat listening to poetry and prose as spoken word neared its close. A woman asked Inner City if she could sing. So she sang this very old song. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Well, the eyes of the sparrow are watching me.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the poetry of Tureeda Mikell in the former segment. She is the 2022 Museum of the African Diaspora resident poet, an original Black Panther Party member, a story medicine woman, author, visionary writer, and educator. Now, you were able to present stories Ethnotech as a Nuwa delegate poet storyteller in Beijing, China, in collaboration with the University of Beijing. I would love to hear more about that. Can you tell us how that experience affected you?
It was something that felt very familiar because I was always engaged, possibly because of that channeling of Qigong and the Chinese elder master that told me that I had been channeling it, and the things that my mother would do, sending somehow on the weekends, we would be in Chinatown in Oakland. Back in the day when they actually played Chinese music, you could hear it throughout the town. Being there, I had deja vu. I had deja vu. So many people asking, what, can we take a picture with you? And then I wasn't the only Black woman, but there's a child after I tell stories at this village that waits for me at the bus with a large ginkgo leaf. A ginkgo leaf is an herb and a leaf that recognizes, your body paying attention to history, paying attention to the past. And she had this large ginkgo leaf I put inside a book and kept. And the mother is saying in the best English she could that her daughter wanted to give me this leaf. So there was, coming to that village and having all this fanfare of parades and everything opening up for us as we walked into this village. It was just amazing, truly, truly amazing. And going to different parts of, the Great Wall, to Tiananmen Square, to just many, many places, but the people and the interaction and the babies. And then I was there on my own, and that was good. That was fascinating and very, very amazing. I saw many Asian women with what they call kinky hair. And I took pictures of that. So it was an amazing time for storytelling, the sharing of stories, the swapping of stories, the interpreters they would tell our stories to those who didn't speak English. And then, we had interpreters from the University of Beijing as well as others from the village. And it was just wonderful to be engaged at that level for the humanity of it all.
Sounds like a remarkable and wonderful trip. Everyone that I know who has gone to China and been there for any length of time and interacted with the people, especially the real people on the ground, they have loved it. Tureeda, as if you didn't have enough careers, you've mentioned you were an investigative news reporter and you interviewed some of the biggest names known. Can you tell me quickly who was your best interview and who was the craziest?
Oh wow. Okay. My best interview. Well, I really loved Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. Interviewing him was insightful and definitely engaging. He was to the point, very direct, very heartfelt, very sincere. And I really appreciated the way he would speak and listen. He was intense on listening. And I appreciated that. The craziest was possibly Jim Henson of the Muppets and Frank Oz.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that goes from one end of the spectrum to the other, right?
Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Oh my goodness.
So I was a little perturbed with that.
Yes, I could understand why. Tureeda, now tell me, what do you hope to do for women by being such a successful mentor and an example to others?
I hope to tell women that no matter what's happened in your childhood or as a young woman, or the way people see you or project their image of how they think you should be, you should let all that go and deal with your interior, your inner self, your soul, your vision. Try not to take on what the news or the television or whatever those things are. Try not to take them on and change your character, yourself, and who you are as a human being, as a woman. Own your space. Know what your passion is. Own your passion. And hold on.
That's a very important message to women around the world. Thank you for that response, because I think we all need to hear it. Even little girls need to hear that message, that's for sure. Our time is running out so quickly. We're going to be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. We're with the amazing, brilliant, remarkable Tureeda Mikell, and you're with Tadia Rice on Woman Radio. And this is Womanosity for women with curiosity like you and me and my remarkable guest. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Barbara Nussbaum in Cape Town, South Africa. I love Woman Radio. I listen as often as I can. The music is wonderful and the guests are absolutely inspiring. I hope you're listening too.
Mna ndingukhwezi futhi ucenenda and ndithanda ukumamela iWoman Radio ndizokufunda izinto ezintsha ndive nomculo omnandi. Iinkqubo zabo zimnandi kwaye zisebenzisa ingqondo. ukusukela kwi-On the Couch to Womanacity. Hlala kukho into emnandi yokumamela nemfundiso entsha. Ndithanda kakhulu ukuba ngummameli. Ndiyavuya ukuba nawe umamele.
Ich bin Leila Tabanaro Hedarian aus Wien und höre Woman Radio. Ich lerne so viel Interessantes von den Radiomoderatorinnen und liebe die Musik. Ich freue mich, dass ihr auch Woman Radio hört.
Womanosity is like a good cup of coffee with a new friend, somebody I'd never have a chance to meet. Sometimes it's a new idea or thinking about an old one in a new way. It's girlfriends, it's Tadia, and it's all good. This is American artist, writer, and girlfriend Jenny Cooley in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm with Tureeda Mikell today in the studio. This remarkable writer, educator, investigative journalist, nurse, you name it. I think she's done it. I don't know how, but she has. And she is truly a gift to our world. Now, Tureeda, how would you describe the way you walk in our world?
I walk in the world listening. I'm a listener, and that's what I do. I listen, and if people are talking, I try to give back what I hear them say, or I'll ask, wait a minute, what did you say? Can you say that again? Because I feel that is so important in today's world, that we listen and not take people for granted. That's what I believe. That's been my walk and working on energy, body information, and keeping whole interconnectedness together with nature. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a wonderful way to walk in the world. And, listening is really the foundation for communication. That, if we're not listening and if we're always talking, how can we learn anything? You don't listen if you're always talking. So that's a very good way to walk in the world. I need to do more of that myself. Now, what would you tell your younger self about love, life, and purpose? If you were 15, if you were 20, 25, what would you tell your younger self? Love, life, and purpose.
Well, at the age of, I guess, 11 or 12, not long after my mother died, we were in foster care. So I didn't leave foster care until I was about 18. And so during that time, piano is the thing that saved me. My grandfather did keep up with my piano lessons. And so I was heavily involved in music and did some type of writing even then while in high school, not realizing that I was attending the same school Maya Angelou attended high school, which was Washington High in San Francisco. So my younger self was trying to make sense out of what was going on around me because it was harsh, it was cruel. But I had my mother's words linger before she went to the hospital for the last time, and I wouldn't see her again alive. Life for you may not be peaches and cream, she said. And when she said that, that prepared me for whatever was coming. Now, she said that as a metaphor. And here I am 10 years old listening to that. And then life happened. And love happened when I met my daughter's father. We had so much in common and cared deeply for each other, but because of the atrocities of what happens in a world that does not like children. It was hard for us to come together and stay together. The purpose of life, I'm sure, came out of my mother's death. How do you make life be worthy? And how do you make it continue without leaving so young? She was 37 at the time. And so, you know, you find your purpose in those things that have happened. You know, so although the purpose of understanding synchronicity, the love and life of everything so compactly joined and just amazing.
Tureeda, you have accomplished so much in your lifetime. What of all of it would you say is your biggest achievement to date?
Giving birth to a daughter that is now a comedian, or the birthing of the book Synchronicity, the Oracle of Sun Medicine. Also, the birthing of many other self-published books that I would sell to many people that are out in the world. Those are the things I would say may be my biggest achievement, aside from being asked to be a Berkeley Fellow at UC Berkeley and then flying us, a group of us, to Denver, Colorado to speak on writing for the urban child. And all the presentations, the 73 anthologies and counting of students.
You've had such impact on so many lives. You probably don't even know how many children that you have touched, that you have motivated, that you have inspired.
Right.
And my hat's off to you for doing that, because our children deserve so much more than they get. So I want to just personally say how I appreciate what you have done with the 73 anthologies, with all of the poetry classes you gave to these children who, I'll bet you, if you really knew what the outcome was, you would be astounded, because you would be part of helping them achieve an outcome. Have become theirs.
Yes, because, you know, there's one child I know that, you know, is doing work with Disney and would tell people, well, yes, she was my poetry teacher. And there were other poet teachers too, but I was one of them, you know, lighting that spark in her. And the anthologies that have gone across the country in different parts of the world, when I mentioned the people in you know, in China or in Japan, when I go online, I would find, like, oh, that's right, I forgot about that anthology, the one from Emory University or Southern Illinois University, or reading with Amiri Baraka.
It is amazing, the synchronicity in life. It never ends. It never fails that we discover these things. You know, as we are growing older, growing mature, it's quite amazing. And do you hear that, Tureeda?
What? What is that?
Oh my gosh, Tureeda, it's time for the Womanosity 25 question in 2 minutes speed round.
What?
Okay, you think you can handle 25 questions in 2 minutes, because they're going to come at you.
Okay.
All right, here you go. What color or flavor is your favorite M&M?
None, because I don't eat M&Ms.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Cat.
Would you rather eat chocolate or watch your favorite TV show?
Chocolate.
What's one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
Oh my goodness. Come back to that one.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 passes. That's all you get. You want to pass?
Okay.
Okay. Are you a morning or night person?
Night.
Me too. What words do you live by?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
What's one vice you wish you could give up?
Organization, just organizing more.
Oh, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
I love your work.
Oh, that is a lovely compliment. How do you start your day, Tureeda?
Writing.
When are you most inspired?
Listening.
Food, sweet or savory?
Savory.
What makes you smile the most?
Children, babies, toddlers looking at me with that old look.
What's the one thing people don't know about you?
Oh gosh, what they may not know is I don't know.
Okay, that's your second pass. Okay, no more. Heels, flats, or sneakers?
Flats.
What's inspiring you in life right now?
Listening to how people engage you.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done in your life?
The Grand Canyon. I hiked to the bottom of the Kaibab Trail of the Grand Canyon in Arizona and came back up the same day.
Wow.
Yes.
That's an adventure for sure.
Right.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Good to go.
I love it. Diamonds or pearls?
Diamonds.
What's something you notice about someone when you first meet them?
Their eyes.
What's the one talent you wish you had?
Piano. Piano, songwriting. Songwriting and more piano.
What's your favorite color?
This is forms of orange and blue. Orange.
Orange. Okay, what color of clothing do you wear the most?
Orange and red, black.
Okay.
Orange, red, black, turquoise, yeah.
What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
Oh gosh. Babies, squirrels, kitten, baby things. You know?
I couldn't agree more. I love baby things too. What's the best thing that happened to you this year, Tureeda Mikell?
Oh, wow. The best thing. To come into the new year being so grateful and thankful to be surrounded by family and friends that I've adopted as, family that I've adopted. Just very thankful, being very thankful.
And what's your favorite song today? Because I want to play it. And thank you for being with me today in this most remarkable time we've had in the studio. I am so grateful to know you. So can you tell me, do you have a favorite song today, at this minute, maybe this week?
The greatest love of all, I believe the children are the future.
Oh, the Donny Hathaway song, but of course we're going to listen to it by a woman. Thank you again so much, my dear. And the greatest love has been shared with my audience today by you, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a joy. Thank you.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be, and so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in
Thank you for being with me today on Womanosity for Women with Curiosity, broadcasting globally on Woman Radio. Enjoy great interviews with remarkable women and music from around the world. Join me, won't you?